Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes. The exercise is not merely a statutory routine, it is a critical component of democratic governance and public accountability. As highlighted, the Constitution empowers the National Assembly to appropriate public funds and to ensure that such funds are utilized efficiently, transparently, and strictly for the purposes approved. Today's engagement, therefore, represents a solemn responsibility to the Nigerian people. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, EFCC and other agencies under the committee occupy a strategic position in Nigeria's governance architecture. You are entrusted with sacred mandate of combating corruption, economic sabotage, financial crimes, and all acts that undermine public trust and national development. In a nation grappling with economic challenges, insecurity, and rising public expectation, the importance of your work cannot be overstated. The Nigerian people expect results, measurable outcomes that reflect value for money, institutional integrity, and tangible impact on the fight against financial crimes and corruption. Consequently, this committee will examine your budget proposal not only in terms of figures and line items, but also against the performance indicators, policy outcomes, and alignment with national financial crimes and anti-corruption objectives. Let me emphasize that this committee is not adversarial in its approach. Rather, we see ourselves as partners in progress, committed to strengthening institutions, closing governance gaps, and ensuring that scarce public resources are deployed in the most effective manner. However, partnership does not diminish accountability. Where there are inconsistencies, inefficiencies, or departures from due process, this committee will not hesitate to seek clarifications and demand corrective actions. As you present your budget proposals, we expect clear justification for capital and recurring expendices, evidence-based projections, and a demonstration of how proposed spending will enhance operational effectiveness and overall financial crimes and anti-corruption framework of the country. We are particularly interested in how your agencies intend to improve investigation capacity, prosecution efficiency, asset recovery, prevention mechanism, and public sensitization within the limit of available resources. Ladies and gentlemen, the fight against financial crimes and corruption must itself be corruption-free. It is therefore imperative that agencies leading the fight uphold the highest standards of transparency, financial discipline, and internal control. This committee will pay close attention to budget performance implementation challenges, as this will inform our decisions on the budget proposals before us. In conclusion, I urge all of you appearing before this committee to engage openly and honestly, provide accurate data, and see this process as an opportunity to strengthen public confidence in your institutions and corrective results to build just and accountable and prosperous Nigeria. On this note, I formally declare this budget process, the first session of the Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes open, and I look forward to a productive constructive deliberations. Thank you, and God bless you.
To lead the EFCC team to this annual budget session with the Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes. Few years. We will continue to count on this partnership in consolidating the gains of the past years towards ensuring a corrupt-free Nigeria. The 2025 appropriation appraiser, Mr. Chairman. The Commission's approved appropriation for the year 2025 fiscal year was 92,228,648,686 naira only. The total releases, Mr. Chairman, to the Commission stood at 68,515,972,2 158 naira 47 kobo, representing 74% of the total appropriation for the year 2025. Now this leaves a balance of 23 billion 712 million 676,527 naira 53 kobo only, or 26% of the entire amount, mostly from the overhead and capital components of the appropriation as outstanding by 31st December 2025. Mr. Chairman, Vice distinguished members of this committee, 2025 budget performance. The total approved budget, 92.2 billion. Now this is a breakdown. 38.651,414,245 of that amount represented personnel cost, which was released 100%.
Mr. Chairman, we have the figures, so you can go ahead.
All right, sir. Overhead, 64.4%. Then capital, only 50% was released. And it was actually a warrant, which we have uploaded and has not been paid. So we are afraid that most of our contractors have not been serviced, even the license providers. And that will be a major problem for us going forward this year. We need that license to continue to do our work. Now, the overhead, the personnel cost. The 44.7 earmark as personnel cost for 2026 as compared to the 38. No, sorry, let me just do a brief breakdown of the 2026 budget. In 2026, like you know, distinguished members of this committee, the government runs an envelope system. So they give you what you must limit yourself within. So we proposed 44.774,240,495 as personnel cost, which is an increment of about 6.1 billion over last year. Our overhead, we proposed 20.9 billion. Capital, we proposed 22.8 billion. And we were limited only to 70% of last year's capital. So we were asked not to go beyond that because of the problem of implementation and releases. So the total budget proposed for the year 2026 is 88,569,539,065 naira. Now, out of that, we have personnel costs 44.7, overhead 20.9, and also the capital 22.8. The capital is to provide additional funds for the item listed in the attached schedule. Meanwhile, payments for the capital project executed by contractors in the year 2025, and like I said earlier, distinguished members, which have been proposed to Office of Accountant General of the Federation, are yet to be made. This leaves the possibility of projects being abandoned by our contractors. Permit me to quickly mention as I round off the issue of severance liability. The Commission currently has an outstanding severance benefit liability due to 32 retired officers in the gross sum of 3,853,718,437 naira 74 kobo. Year 2023, we had an outstanding severance package of 905 million. Year 2024, we had 1.4 billion. Year 2025, last year, we had 1.4 billion. And of course, year 2026 is still, we are still trying to put that figure together. Therefore, craving indulgence of this committee for an upward review of our overhead proposal to accommodate the severance benefit of staff who serve this nation meritoriously to the amount that we had earlier said. In conclusion, distinguished chairman, vice chair, and distinguished members of this committee, once more, I wish to reiterate the Commission's gratitude to this distinguished committee for its invaluable support in the performance of our duties over the years and modest achievement through the years. I thank you for your attention. God bless.